have taken up 4 pages in this notebook of mine, my trusty notebook, on
mock schedules,
on fake bill schedules. Whose idea was that? I mean, literally 4 pages are just used up by the bill schedule. No, this other one I didn't even really get anywhere because I made a mistake right away with having 3 home games together. But they do have that. A lot of teams, I haven't mentioned this with you yet, but the 3-game road trip / homestand, whichever, there's plenty of that on the NFL schedule. Anyway, can I blame you for this? I've got 4 pages taken up. It's getting late here for this notebook. Well, I really could use the space.
Can you just tear those pages out? I mean, I would never. That's not going to replace the pages. You would never.
No reason to. It doesn't erase them, like you said, right?
Right, but they're out of there. Like, if it's annoying you that they're there,
it's annoying me.
You have no use for them. You're I wouldn't think ever really going to need to look at a mock bill schedule.
No, but there could be something useful on the other side. That.
Oh, I see. I didn't know.
I'm on the backs now.
I thought maybe you were. I apologize. I didn't understand the gravity of the situation. I thought.
I'm not sure you still do.
I thought you had 2 pages with 4 schedules, front, back, front, back.
No.
Tear those out. They're gone.
What I do is go all the way to the back using the fronts, and then come all the way back the other way using the backs, like a normal person would do.
This is the most insane assertion you've ever made on the show.
What are you talking about?
Ever.
You would use the back of a page?
Front, back, like you're reading a book. Yeah, like a normal person.
Really?
Yeah, front, back, front, back, front, back. That's how you turn pages. What are you doing? Front, all the way. Wow. I don't really know what to say.
Well, it's going to come out the same.
Sure.
Oh, look, here's a schedule.
And they would, according to this, like to be referred to as Bulldog's bullpen, which is the people in the chat.
What is? Oh, I see.
In YouTube. It was the.
I'm not sure we're sanctioning that name yet. But
okay. That was an official workshop.
I guess
I did just workshop.
I mean, it's their thing. I guess they can really do whatever they want.
Right. You don't necessarily get to sign off.
I don't get to say. Yeah, that's probably right.
But
I will step aside. I didn't mean for my ego to get in the way. Go ahead, please.
It's Mike Schopp.
He's Bulldog, talking sports. Call him on the telephone. Toss that bad Bulldog a bone. Bulldog, talking sports. Yeah.
On WGR.
All right. Heave and ho, and away we go.
Sports Radio 550.
I don't want to hear me from 30 years ago. Thank you very much.
Is this Windhorst? Hello, viewers. Switch.
I want in on this too.
803-0550. Cook, Palmer, Michael Hoyt, Sam Martin to Carolina, by the way. That's being reported. Leonard Floyd. Nobody's still on the team, I bet.
It's more than 10 years ago.
I doubt there's a single guy that was on that team that's still there. Maybe. Like a kicker or something, but I doubt it.
Man, we're 10 minutes into the week, and time is just kicking my ass over here.
Yeah, you're having a shocker of time.
Time has got the jersey pulled up over my head, and then I'm like, where are the linesmen?
How about...
I think it was relatively safe, and it felt good. You should get caught in the rain once in a while.
I agree.
It is healthy.
I love getting caught in the rain. Isn't that from the Pina Colada song? Isn't that one of the lines?
Yeah. If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain.
Getting caught in the rain, right there. It's gospel.
Yep.
You got to do it. Adam is with us. Hello, Adam.
Hey, guys. I heard you talking about,
the Pina Colada song? Yeah, I know. It was great.
living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. Oh, you seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life. And now it's about to leave. Oh, roller coaster. We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all to leave.
Joint practice for the Bills today over at Hallis Hall with the Bears ahead of the game on Sunday night. Just 5 players did not practice for Buffalo. Khalil Shakir, Tylen Grable, Cedric Van Pran-Granger, Max Hairston, and Cam Lewis. We also do not yet know if starters for the Bills will be playing on Sunday, but we'll get more on practice when Sal Capaccio joins the show at 4 p.m. Looking ahead to Sunday, pregame will get underway at 4 p.m. We'll carry you all the way to kickoff then at 8 p.m. We'll hand the baton off to Chris Brown, Eric Wood, and Sal Capaccio, who have the call from the Northwest Bank broadcast booth. Tonight we have 2 preseason games. At 7 o'clock, the Falcons host the Titans. And then at 10, the Chiefs are out west to take on Seattle. Both of those games will be on NFL Network. And then some pretty big college football news from this morning. Michigan gets $20 million fine as part of the punishment of the sign-stealing scandal, which involved former assistant Connor Stallions and former head coach Jim Harbaugh were also both handed multi-year show cause penalties, 8 years for Stallions, 10 for Harbaugh. And then current head coach Sharon Moore will be also serving a 3-game suspension. 2 of those games are self-imposed by the school and will be this year, weeks 3 and 4. And then plenty of baseball action tonight. The Bisons host Lehigh Valley just after 6:30. On the bump, it is Shane Bieber for Buffalo. You can listen to that game over on our sister station, the Bet 1520. And then 2 games after 7, the Jays host the Rangers and the Mets. They have the Mariners in town, while at 8:15, the Yankees, they are in St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet, celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
My dad's not here right now. He's still at work. So I'm going to blast him.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I'm going to see if there's a clean version so that my parents and the people at my school will not get mad at me. We've got the spritzer filled with water, just in case if stuff gets too fire. I'm going to set up the speaker, and I'm going to listen to
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I think this is the best
Mike Schopp
feature that I've heard in a long time. I think his flow is really good in it, and I like his aggressiveness on it. And
the Bulldog.
Put not enough effort in it. I think overall his flow was good, but I don't like that mumble rapping. That was my review of
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Didn't need the spritzer. Wasn't fire enough. No spritzer for you. No spritzer.
Let's go. Happy Friday. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Sal to join us later. So what is this with Owen picking Manchester United as his favorite soccer team? Wow. I like the kid. I liked the kid. I respected him. Should I have watched it? Would it make sense? Would I understand it if I watched it?
Watch what? The clip that was posted?
Yeah.
I don't think it's really going to tell you a whole lot about the decision. I think I know Nick Mendola, my old friend, former employee here, was in studio for it. And before I even knew what had happened this morning, I got a text from him that just said, "You're welcome." And in the clip that was posted, Owen said something referring to Nick talking him into it. Like that Nick said, "Your dad likes them, that'll be fun for you guys." But I don't know actually what the argument was or what the case was.
So you really don't know either?
No, I don't know either. I just know Owen drew a rather crudely drawn Man United logo. I think it's on the wall in G's studio over there.
Isn't it like a crest?
Yeah. The crest. He drew the crest.
Oh,
and I don't know. It's not quite the Buffalo Bills Josh Allen potato logo. I think it's a little artsier than that, but I haven't really studied it. So yeah, I don't know what went into it. I mean, I knew they were doing this. That Owen had said earlier in the week he wanted to pick a favorite soccer team, and he sort of had ruled out Arsenal because that's Jeremy's team, and ruled out Liverpool because that's Joe's team.
Well, another couple of real
underdog stories, yeah,
risk takers.
And so he didn't. He said for the same reason he didn't think he wanted to pick Manchester United because of me, which I thought was fine. Do your own thing. I thought he was going to pick Spurs. Is what I thought he was going to do.
Because?
I don't really know.
They're not United or Arsenal or Liverpool.
But they're in London. And
they have
big,
a huge stadium.
Right. Like they have a chance to, they should be good. Like, they got resources to be good. They're not getting left behind financially in the new state of things in the Premier League.
Okay.
But
They won Europa.
they did. They beat United to win Europa.
Even better.
Yeah.
So he couldn't pick them because that happened.
I guess. I don't know. So I've not seen him all day, so I've not gotten any further explanation for what happened there, but I guess he's now a Man United fan.
Have you ever
like
thought
me.
about, like, if you were born in eastern Montana, what's, in the United States, the place that's farthest away from any NFL team? Maybe, like, eastern Montana? Minnesota way over there, Seattle way over there, Denver way down there.
Yeah.
Some place like that.
Yeah.
Some place where it wouldn't be, I don't mean like some bigger city that's close enough to an NFL team. Oklahoma City would be Dallas fans.
Right.
Some place that's far enough away from everybody, you know, Honolulu, whatever. Some place that's far enough away from everybody where you could really go into a certain path, take a certain path to a favorite team because, you know, in this hypothetical, there's no obvious choice where all your friends like this team. Let's say your parents aren't really betrothed to a team, and you can just decide. Have you ever thought about how you would do it? Is this like the Red Sox? Maybe?
Maybe, or I do think in the last. When did the Madden football game become really popular? Like late 90s, mid 90s, like by the early 2000s. My kid's generation, right? He owns 23. I think video games would play a part in it. If you are in the location you're trying to describe here, right?
So what? You would pick one based on
who you like to play in the game, like who's good in the game. Maybe you like the way the uniforms look on the screen, whatever. There's a variety of things that you would find yourself gravitating toward. I think this is going to be my team. I'm going to play a season with this team. And then you're just sort of in, and that becomes your team. That is what happened to me with Manchester United. I mean, I did not really know anything about their history. I'm not kidding. I did not know when you bought me that video game 15 years ago.
You knew one thing.
They were on the cover of the game.
Yes, but you knew they were a giant. You would have had to know they were a giant.
I mean, I guess I should have assumed that because
most valuable
of the
franchise in sports.
Yeah, I honestly didn't really think about that. Like, I've said this before, and you can, I don't know, you or anybody out there can choose to, think I'm just saying it. I didn't realize I was choosing like the New York Yankees of soccer. I really didn't. I should have thought about it, but I really didn't, I didn't think that hard about it. I got the game, I put it on. That's the first thing up is them because Wayne Rooney's on the cover. And I started playing with them and liked it enough. I knew who they were. I knew the name, but I didn't know really anything about the history. I didn't really know who Sir Alec Ferguson was or any of it.
Good use of the way to use the sir.
I just sort of started there, and then that just turned into, well, I guess that's my team. So,
I can see it. I think that's completely fine. Like, you go in blind, you start playing the video game, then you get to know the names and the faces even of the players.
Right.
And then you turn soccer on some random Saturday morning, and it's the same guys.
There they are.
And it sounds the same, and,
right.
It's video games are good enough where I'm not sure I could have gotten away with this with the 1994 San Jose Sharks. Based on NHL 94.
Right.
I wanted to pick a team where it would be just about the hardest to win. You start a game, and then you get good at it, and then it's too easy. If you play the best teams, maybe it's different now because you just play online against other people. But back then, you didn't want it to be too easy. So I remember winning the Stanley Cup with the expansion San Jose Sharks against the Penguins. I can picture sitting at the desk in south of Rochester in my apartment on the tube screen, and then you win the cup, and they bring the cup out to Pat Falloon.
I was going to say Pat Falloon. I hope it's Pat Falloon.
He skates around in circles for like 10 seconds, and then it's over.
Right, that's it.
Then it's on the next year. Right. Like, maybe I would have gotten into the Sharks, sort of a cool...
Yeah.
My daughter is into the Kraken, a kind of a expansion, upstart, no pressure kind of team. But I think that it wouldn't have been the same experience as you 25 years later with FIFA and seeing and sort of feeling the experience of one team.
I was so bad at the game that even though they were, a giant and like a powerhouse team, I mean, they still are a huge, huge club within soccer. They just haven't been very good for a while here. But they were, they should have been an easy team for me to win with. But I got fired. Like I played.
You got fired.
I started a season as the manager, and I got fired. I lost an FA Cup game or something, and I got fired.
Then what happens?
I don't even know. I don't know if the season kept going. I might have just simulated the rest of it, and we finished in the middle of the table. And I think I started a second season, and then I got distracted, and I never played the game again.
But you're not allowed to really coach them.
Well, yeah, I don't know what. I think I might have just been playing the game at that point with someone else as the manager, like not doing the same thing I had just done. Or maybe there was a way to reset that and I could start over. I don't remember now. But I got distracted and I just stopped. I thought, I'm a 45 or however old man I was at the time, and I'm like sitting here before work for hours playing this video game, and I just hope my wife doesn't walk in the room. Whatever. I put it aside. And that was really the end of my video game playing career. I mean, I dabbled a little with the kids, but I even then, part of the reason I wasn't very good then, even playing with Man United, is I used like 3 buttons. There's too many buttons on those controllers now. Old man warning. I just couldn't do all the stuff you should be able to do if you know how to use the buttons on the front of the controller as well as all the ones on top.
I mean, I've never been able to figure out how to execute a good running play in Madden in 30 years. I just never run because, I don't know, there's one of these buttons is to shake there's a stiff arm. There's all kind.
But
whatever.
There are so many ways now for someone who is not attached geographically or emotionally from parents or aunts and uncles or whatever. You sit down and watch a Netflix show about the quarterbacks and I really like Joe Burrow. I'm a Bengals fan now. Some 10-year-old kid, that probably is happening to some 10-year-old or a bunch of 10-year-old kids around the country that are watching that show, maybe with their dad or their mom that really like football or something. Like there's so much more available that can influence someone at a time like that when you can really be influenced when you're a little kid deciding what team you want to root for.
I wonder, maybe not at 10 years old, but like in that example, is the young person, I feel like this is maybe my own kids a little bit, although hopefully not in every way. Is the young person now completely, I mean, long ago did this start, in a world where players move around all the time? Maybe not Joe Burrow or Josh Allen. Hopefully, for the Bills' sake, right? We want him to be on the Bills for life. But so many guys change teams, other sports, especially hockey. Like, there's so much movement. And in an era with fantasy and betting as prevalent as it is, and maybe even a 12-year-old's parents who are in their mid to late 30s, maybe, even they grew up sort of in this mode where you would not feel a team loyalty necessarily. You would just sort of be for players, or you would just not. Maybe this isn't. I think it's realistic. I'm not sure it's good or bad necessarily, but I think there might be more and more young people all the time in sports who really don't have a favorite team. If you get to the point where you're betting or playing fantasy seriously, you don't even want one. It doesn't help you to have one. Like, you could still get nostalgic and think about rooting for the teams you rooted for as a kid.
Yep.
But really, like, to be best at it, you don't want to be, burdened by some sort of team loyalty. It feels stupid even to be like that in that one particular context. In another, you could say, well, what are sports for? What is it about? And, you'd always want to have favorite teams for that. Otherwise, it would just be like you'd be left out, or you'd feel like almost depressing.
Yeah, I think you're on to something there. I do think even just being around, this is, Owen 5, 7, 8 years ago, even extending to when he was in high school, like all the guys on the Nichols hockey team, he would tell me that the talk in the locker room was about NBA highlights, like NBA players, not teams. It's just like, did you see what this guy did? Did you see what that guy did? And it was more, I don't think he ever talked to me about a favorite NBA team. It was just what this superstar did on Wednesday and what this other, like highlights that make the rounds and that kind of thing. And I think that does open the door to just being, more of a fan of the guys than you are, the Phoenix Suns or whomever. And that's very, I think that's different than, I think it's just more prevalent and more available. It's not that different from me realizing when I was, 15 or 16 years old that I really like John Elway. Like, why I didn't become a Broncos fan ever, and I remember really ever rooting for the Broncos, but I really like John Elway. And so that's kind of like this. There wasn't social media for me to follow. There weren't extensive profiles of him available on Netflix. Netflix didn't exist. But I got to see him play. That was enough. And I became a fan of his, not really of the team at all. I just think that is exponentially more true of people my son's age.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was the Bills and Sabres, because why would anybody have given 1 second's worth of thought to different? Like, this is where I am. Mm-hmm. This is what you do. You follow the local teams. You care about them. I found my way to the Seahawks because my mother is left-handed and their quarterback was left-handed. Like, okay, I can fit this in. I'm going to watch them once or twice a year on Monday night and have to go to bed by halftime. 9:00 games. So, like, that it was going to be short, but it was something. And then the Leafs, because they were on TV just as often as the Sabres were and almost as nearby. Mm-hmm. So the Leafs. And then any other team, I mean, just sort of maybe Seattle's sort of a weird example, but it wasn't even a thought, like just why would all that player stuff didn't exist.
Right.
You never saw players. They never changed teams unless they were traded. It was rare. And that was a different thing. Well, United, I don't know. I guess I want to hear Owen explain it, which he did. I'm sure he did this morning. But I feel like maybe, I like him. I like the cut of his jib.
Good.
The bloodlines, everything. It's been weird for me that you found United because you've already said here you didn't know who they were at the time. It just seems like such a rich yacht club, it's old money team.
Not at all who I should have picked.
But I went too far.
Yeah, you did.
With Everton, I wanted no worse outcome for me than doing that. Like, I just the worst thing listen to this. I want to say it. The worst case scenario for me would be to pick a team that won.
Because then you would feel like a front runner or something? Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then it wouldn't feel like I really worked for it.
See, that's the thing about me choosing United. They have all the resources in the world. I've thought about, I'm not really tied to them. My tie is this stupid video game connection that is not unseverable. Like I could just, I'm picking Newcastle or like whomever. Even Newcastle now
can't do that now.
Big Arabian money. Like I can't. That's not going to work. 10 years ago, they would have been a really great choice.
They were top 4.
But yeah, they're huge now. They're way better than United. The thing about United is right when I got in is when it started going sideways. Like they still have the standing within the sport that a legendary European club enjoys. Like they are a massive team. They're up there with Barcelona and all the other big global iconic soccer franchises. But their results have been middling mostly. They made Champions League maybe once or twice only since I've been rooting for them.
What is that? 15 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
So maybe it's more than that. But still, like last year, they were closer to being relegated than they were to the top of the table.
Oh, I was so hoping.
So getting out on them while they've been like churning out managers and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Eric Ten Hag and all these different Mourinho, how I say it. Anyway, they've just been cycling through these people. And bailing out now would feel as lame as picking them in the first place when I did.
Yeah, where do you turn now? Burnley?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sort of stuck. So I need to kind of see it through. I mean, they're never going to be a plucky underdog because of the resources they have and the fame that comes along with the brand. But bailing out now would feel like I'm leaving because they're bad, and that's as bad as picking them because they're good.
You can't win now.
Right, I'm stuck.
Even if they win, their history is such that it's still not respectable to like them.
I picked like the least enjoyable possible team, I think.
Yes, I think you did. And Everton, I found myself last year getting a little bit excited on their heroic march to 13th. Getting out of the bottom, last year I think was a year where the relegated teams were so down, like it wasn't even close, right? I mean, Southampton was the worst team ever, and then you had a couple that were barely better, so there was no drama last year. But Everton changed managers and started to beat people, blew a game against your United 2-2. But I was into it, and I've made fun of myself for a long time for pretending to care about it. Shouldn't I know one player on the team? Today I said to you, shouldn't I know who they open with?
Right.
I know who the Bills open with on my fake schedules. I mean, I've just always, 6 months ago, you always know who the Bills open with. I mean, I even know who the Sabres open with, but Everton I found out today it's Leeds.
Leeds, sure.
Quote, Leeds.
Yeah.
On Monday, which is cool. It'll be a TV game. Well, a lot of them are. Right now it's Liverpool and Bournemouth. Well, good luck to Owen. You guys can, drink Sunday morning beers?
I suppose while we're talking here, I'm getting text from Jeremy, who's an Arsenal fan, and United and Arsenal play at 11:30 Sunday.
Sure.
And proper viewing appointment, like I think we may get together to watch this match. I don't know, maybe go out somewhere, or maybe his backyard, or I don't know, whatever. So yeah, I guess Owen and I we're gonna start going to the Banshee. I guess
you're going to Boston.
To watch. Well, we'll be back. We are flying.
You're back already by then.
We're flying super early tomorrow, and the return flight is the same. So we fly out of Boston at 7:30 in the morning Sunday. So we'll be home by 9:00, which is going to be plenty of time, obviously, assuming all goes well, to get out and watch United and Arsenal if we want to.
All right.
So yeah,
isn't there
should work?
Which soccer team are the Red Sox connected to? Is that Arsenal?
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Oh, great.
Yeah, a lot of the thinking is, and Sam's not going to be with us today.
No Sam today.
But Sam, I think last week we're talking about my trip coming up with Owen tomorrow to go to Boston, and how I'm just sort of in a bad place with them because they don't act like a big time franchise. And he even made the point, it feels like they're just like a bank or like a money making venture for the soccer team now, is what it seems like, because there was, I don't know if there still is, there was a racing, Roush Fenway Racing was a thing. They had all kinds of different stuff happening there. And, but Liverpool is under that same umbrella.
Right. John Henry?
Yeah, right.
That's right. It's coming back to me now. Today's the first game of the Premier League season. Liverpool and Bournemouth. And in case you didn't know, scoreless in the 24th minute. The season is off to a rousing start. Sal Capaccio today. Eric Edholm will join us as well. What do these two men have in common? They were both at Bills-Bears joint practice this afternoon, so we'll get a couple of different perspectives on that. The Bills and the Bears Sunday night from Chicago. I've enjoyed the pictures from Chicago, from Hallis Hall. Sal has posted a bunch of pictures of that facility, and they're cool to look at. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here at 803-0550. We'll be right back. This is WGR.
The last couple of days when we were in Buffalo, and so Joshua getting more and more comfortable with his role in our offense and what that really is and what that entails from a run standpoint, pass standpoint, and then, like I said, getting on the same page with Josh. I thought Joshua looked good the other day, making a couple of key catches and some of the move the ball periods and pushing through some of the soreness he was working through.
Sean McDermott in Chicago. Joshua is Joshua Palmer. He's not allowed to be Josh.
Right.
He could be Palmer, but that's not intimate enough. So he's Joshua.
Palms. Yeah, it's not hockey.
Thanks to football for not stooping so low.
Right.
But Josh Palmer is Joshua. Josh Allen is Josh. That has not changed.
Does Joshua Palmer, by any chance, have any nicknames posted at his Pro Football Reference
Not a
page?
single one.
Okay. All right.
His middle name is Keith. If he wanted to become JK, JKP, Palms, anything. But that's who McDermott is talking about.
I got no trouble with Joshua versus Josh. I think I can follow that. I don't think it'll trip me up. I'm all right.
Last names would be easier, but sure. Pro Football Network is back with a 1-32 ranking of each team's backup quarterback. Who did this before? ESPN?
I don't remember, but I know the Bills were like 30th or something, maybe 29th.
Pretty low.
Yeah.
Where this is individuals, so it's Mitch Trubisky is on this list, not
Mike White.
Bills.
Okay.
How would you know? But where does Mitchell Trubisky fall in Pro Football Network's backup quarterback rankings out of 32? He's not last.
I'm going to say he's probably right around where I thought the other one landed the Bills' overall backup quarterback situation, so I'm going to say 28th.
31st.
Okay, well, that's close to last.
Only above Kyle Trask in Tampa. I don't know. He's that bad? He's the worst backup in the NFL, or second worst, or fifth worst? He's that bad? I've seen these other guys play. I don't know. He's that bad? Second overall pick?
I know I definitely don't have any faith in him, but I don't know how many of these other guys I would have faith in. So the fact that he was a high pick like he was a starter for the amount of time he was, even won a playoff game?
No.
At least got to the playoffs? Okay.
Yes. Won a division.
I thought the same thing when the other list and the Bills were so low. I just thought he'd get more respect than that. But, that said, maybe everybody out there watched him play in Pittsburgh and just went, yeah, no, I don't ever want this guy to be on my team again. That's what I thought when I watched him play in Pittsburgh. So I've been hoping Mike White would win the job. I don't get the feeling that's going real well.
I don't know.
I don't know that it's over, but I think Trubisky so far has been, the number 2 quarterback and was again today at this joint practice.
Will Allen play Sunday? McDermott said this morning he didn't know yet.
I don't think he's going to play at all in the preseason.
No?
Allen said finally, at some point here, pretty recently, maybe it was while you were away, that at this point he doesn't feel like he needs to play in the preseason. I'll do whatever if the coach thinks I need to, then I'll do it. I'm not going to object. But if you're asking me, I'm paraphrasing pretty liberally here, but basically, I don't feel like I need it. I'm not going to go tell him I want to play, is basically the vibe I get. And as soon as I heard that, I just thought he's not playing. McDermott's not going to go to him after he knows he has just said publicly, I don't feel like I need to play in the preseason, and insist that he play. I just can't imagine a scenario where that happens. So I've been expecting him not to play, but they leave themselves the wiggle room here. Let's see how today goes, how I like the work we do or whatever. But I'm still sitting here not knowing if they've announced anything. I don't think they have. I'd be surprised if he played, and he's certainly not, I don't think, going to play in the Tampa game next weekend.
I wonder if Baker Mayfield will. He's not playing this weekend, they said today. But maybe then next weekend he will for a minute. There's a pretty good space there between those games next weekend and the regular season, 2 weeks apart. So we'll see. I had a thought. I was thinking about you this morning when I saw a picture online of Drake May.
Okay.
I predict someday at some future point in time, you will come to hate Drake May's face.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's got a face.
Oh, yeah. That'll happen.
That
yeah,
I could see you hating.
They get good. He gets good. They become a problem. That's going to be very easy to do for me.
I don't think you can hate Allen's face.
It's very hard to I think. Allen has a very likable looking, affable. He makes you want to like him, I think. No, but I think May has got, there's a little bit, I hate Joe Burrow's face.
Allen is unique here, I think. Mahomes.
And I think, yeah, I think May's got a little bit of the Burrow. He just got, he's got that I don't know, that I want to hit you in the throat. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just annoying kind of. I had to stop watching the Netflix thing, the quarterback, the most recent version of the quarterback series, because I liked Burrow in it. And this is not going to work for me. I don't want to get manipulated. I like living where I live, which is for no real good reason other than I don't like his face. And he beat the Bills in the playoffs once. I don't want to like you. It's this. I'm a fan. I can choose, and my choice is I want to not like you. So if I'm watching a show and you're starting to make me like you, I think I gotta stop watching the show. Again, that's a choice. I could just like Joe Burrow now, but I don't have the strength.
I wonder if it's going to be his year. You know, could have won the MVP last year with any sort of an average defense. Then they're in the playoffs, had the numbers for it. He's done the thing Allen and Jackson haven't done. Say what you want about whether it's all about the quarterback. Of course, it isn't all, but he has the playoff win over Kansas City. No one else in the AFC except Brady does. So I wonder if sort of like at the start of the race, there's a inclination toward Burrow, and then he just has to be, the same, and he's got his weapons, and if they don't get destroyed on defense, they should have a double-digit win season. Wonder if it might be his year for a kick at the MVP. Here's Mike with us. Hello, Mike.
Hey, good on, guys. Just piggybacking what you guys talked about a few minutes ago, backup quarterbacks. How would you feel and be comfortable with someone like a Jameis Winston or Jacoby Brissett or Andy Dalton or somebody like that? I always felt like those guys would have suited better in the backup role here in case Josh had to miss 4 or 5 games. I feel like at least I would feel more comfortable with those guys over Mitch,
Yeah, okay, sure. I don't know.
I think Winston is when it's good, it can be really good. It's fun. But we're not here only for fun, right? And it's not so much fun when he throws 3 picks. So you would get 400-yard games out of him if he's your guy, if you want to call the game that way. But you also just might get some real sloppy downside. So that would worry me. But I think I would rather have any of the guys that you just mentioned besides Trubisky, just because I just feel like I don't trust him at all to see it down the field and make anything happen if he has to play. And that is probably largely true of a lot of backups in the league, even the guys the caller just mentioned, but I just feel like I've seen enough of Trubisky that I don't have any faith in him at all.
At the risk of sounding like I'm copping out, I think they're all the same for what they would mean to the Bills' chances, which is they would have no chance. This team does not have the kind of roster. They're not the Eagles. They don't have the kind of team where, what is this even to say? You could replace Josh Allen with the league's best backup and win? I don't think so. They haven't won with Allen. So to me, what's the difference? I guess I could rank those guys. They've all done something in the NFL, including Trubisky. But I think I'm dead no matter what. I think I'm dead with any of them.
That's probably the right point.
Just
like
would I feel any different about the Bills surviving an Allen injury if Jameis Winston were their No.
I mean, it's really more to me about that's definitely true if it were like something that took him out for, like whatever. Midway through, he's out the year or something. Like, you're cooked. But, if you're in the middle of the season and he's got a forearm thing or something or a wrist and he's going to miss 3 weeks, there's probably some way to like really evaluate whether, who gives you the better chance out of, that pool of guys. And maybe Trubisky will be fine. It's not like he's so much worse than any of the other backups, but this ranking 31st thing is pretty stark. I mean, I don't know how that was a vote, like polled the media members or what it was. It's based on data. But it reflects how I feel about him, but that doesn't have to really mean anything. If I got 3 games and I got to try to win 2 of them, I don't know if any of those guys how good of a chance you've got with any backup quarterback. But that's when I think about the backup quarterback, I'm not thinking he's got to play 12 games. It's more like, can I just find a guy to help me? Sort of like our old friend, the late great John Clayton, used to say, like, just tread water with your backup quarterback until the starter gets back. If he's lost for the season, your season is lost. I think there's no fixing that. I don't think.
Yep, I would say the same thing. Thanks, Mike. Sal coming up at 4. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. We'll be right back. This is WGR.
We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over, it's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster.
Welcome back. Sal coming up from Chicago. The Bisons are home tonight, 6:35, Friday Night Bash. Shane Bieber, acquired by the Blue Jays at the trade deadline from Cleveland, is still in Buffalo, making another rehab assignment tonight. He'll be pitching 6:35 against the Iron Pigs. Iron Pigs.
The Iron Pigs, yes. Yeah.
Let's go to Tom here. Hi, Tom.
Hi, guys. You were talking about the Premier League earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And like Bulldog, I used to be a big Man United fan.
Then you grew out of it.
I switched allegiance to Leeds United.
Why did you do that?
Similar to him, it was around the 2010 season when he got FIFA 10. Leeds United were League One at the time, and they were playing FA Cup tie against Man United at Old Trafford, beginning of January. And Leeds beat them 1-0, and I was like, who is this team? I read up about the history, and I'm like, they're a small club team, kind of like Buffalo. And I'm like, I could see myself supporting them, and I've been following them ever since.
It's a good...
And I don't know if you guys know too much about them, but they're owned by the 49ers.
And they're back this year. They're back.
Yeah, no, I don't. Leeds would have been a very good choice for me, too. One of my favorite bands from the 80s is a band called Gang of Four, and I believe their backstory is they all met at university in Leeds. That's like where the band formed. And I have in the past, and I still would, refer to my family as the Gang of Four. I love this band. And for that reason alone, it doesn't have to be much more than that, right? Leeds University, Leeds, okay, Leeds United, whatever, I'm here. But I can't bail out now. I'm stuck. So I don't feel like I can do what the caller did. I'm glad you did. I'm glad it's fulfilling. I wish I had picked different. Honestly, I wish I'd picked differently. But now, not only am I stuck, but now I've got my kid tailing me on this. He's never had he's watched plenty of soccer with me over the years, but he's never had any real rooting interest. And he declared today that that's it, Man United's his team. So I don't know. For me to bail out now would be a real jerk move, I think.
Yeah, you can't. It is like the Yankees in a way. Like, I don't take Premier League very seriously, but I do love to watch it. And I picked Everton, so I root for Everton, I guess. Run into me at some point when Everton's playing and ask me if I know. Right? But what is like the Yankees is it's because of Fubo and just circumstances. I'm watching more Yankees games this year than those of any other team. And even though I'm almost completely agnostic with sports now, like, it's fantasy, Mike, and I just sort of root for everybody kind of equally. I want me to win. Is who I want to win out of these games, fantasy teams or bets or whatever it is. And I'm not embarrassed by that. I know that's not for everybody, but I'll put the Yankees game on like 2 nights ago when they played the Twins. And when they lose, I love it. I love when they lose. It's just like what I want most from watching a baseball game is to be watching the Yankees and to have them lose. And they're in third place. There's nothing about the players or anybody there that I just sort of dislike or anything. Mm-hmm. That used to be true. During the Jeter years, it was just the Yankee coverage and, just everybody's either
the aura
love affair
of the whole
or
thing was
hatred
just,
for them.
Yeah,
right. It was too much. But that's long gone. And they have not won a World Series since 2009, I think, which is a little bit similar to United, right? Last time they won anything or like whatever, some sort of level of excellence.
It's almost a generation ago now,
yeah. But that doesn't matter to me because as the Yankees, you're supposed to win. So for me, and easy to say, I don't mean this personally toward anyone, but I feel like it's kind of a sad existence because winning, well, you're supposed to win, and then losing, everybody else is enjoying it. And I feel like losing is kind of the only interesting result.
Mm-hmm.
So I love when they lose. But I love when a lot of teams lose, I guess, especially at home.
Sure.
All those fans all sad.
Yeah, I mean, if you're anything that moves the needle at all, I will plug in, however frivolous it may seem. I'm over here talking about, you brought up Drake May's face, and I'm talking about Joe Burrow's face. Like, I'm a grown man. I know how ridiculous all that sounds, but like, I'm clinging to anything that sort of keeps me alive in I have a vested interest in this, that isn't gambling related. And that's because otherwise I'd just be like, I like everybody. Everybody's cool. He's good. They're good. Their fans seem cool. I can't live like that. Like I'm agnostic about everything. I wouldn't have this job anymore. I gotta have opinions. So I gotta stay as plugged in as I can. And admittedly, it does take some effort sometimes.
I don't think those things are mutually exclusive. I don't think you do really either. Like just having opinions, but also having that be attached to allegiances. I don't find any trouble finding my way to opinions, but it's not like in most games I really care which team wins, So I don't think those are the same thing. They're definitely not for me. But yeah, it's very different than when I started, just sort of like it's life. My level of commitment, emotional commitment to who was it? It was the Leafs basically back 30 years ago. It was more the Leafs than any other team. And now it seems almost kind of silly to have been that just excited. I don't know. I don't want to say that. It's what everybody wants is what they want. There's no bad or good. But you go through the years and you sort of come in and out of teams and leagues and just different emotions. We'll talk to Sal next. He's in Chicago. The Bills and Bears practiced together today. They'll meet in preseason game number 2 on Sunday night. That's next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, WGR.
Joint practice day for the Bills over at Hallis Hall with the Bears ahead of the game on Sunday night. Just 5 players did not practice for Buffalo: Khalil Shakir, Tylen Grable, Cedric Van Pran Granger, Max Hairston, and Cam Lewis. We also got word on who will be starting for the Bills on Sunday, and that word is we do not know yet. We will hopefully find out later on this weekend. But we are going to get more from practice. Sal Capaccio joins the show next. And then looking ahead to Sunday, pregame is going to get underway at 4 p.m. and we'll carry you all the way to kickoff at 8 p.m. We'll hand the baton off to Chris Brown, Eric Wood, and Sal, who will have the call from the Northwest Bank broadcast booth. Tonight, though, we do have 2 games. At 7, the Falcons will host the Tennessee Titans. Then at 10, it's the Chiefs there out west in Seattle. Both those games are going to be on NFL Network. In college football, Michigan football gets a $20 million fine as part of the punishment for the sign-stealing scandal that involved former assistant Connor Stallions and former head coach Jim Harbaugh, both handed multi-year show cause penalties, 8 years for Stallions, 10 for Harbaugh, and then current head coach Sherrone Moore will also serve a 3-game suspension. 2 of those games are going to be self-imposed by the school and will be this year, weeks 3 and 4. And then plenty of baseball action tonight. Bisons host Lehigh Valley just after 6:30. On the bump today for Buffalo, Shane Bieber. You can listen to that game on our sister station, the Bet 1520. 2 games just after 7 o'clock. The Jays host the Rangers and the Mets have the Mariners in town. While at 8:15, the Yankees, they are in St. Louis as they take on the Cardinals. It's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Welcome back. Happy Friday. Hot and sunny here in Western New York yet again. Looked likewise today from the pictures in Chicago, although I guess I couldn't really see temperatures in those pictures. I saw sunshine.
I just assumed it's like
Me too.
89
Everywhere.
or 93 degrees.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Uncomfortably hot.
The whole
is my
weather
guess.
map is orange.
Yes. Sal Capaccio is with us from Chicago now on the heels of today's joint practice between the Bills and the Bears. Sal, how was it?
It was hot. I mean, I am in Chicago right now, but actually the practice itself was just outside Chicago in Lake Forest, Illinois, at Hallis Hall. That is the Bears practice facility. Very hot. Reminded me of some St. John Fisher days, to be honest, and we know how hot that was out there. It was great. I loved it. I could watch this kind of stuff all day. I really could. I just think it was really good football today. I thought both teams did an excellent job of kind of, winning some and losing some, right? You're going to get that through. I think they went for close to 2.5 hours, guys. I mean, it was hot and they worked. So I could really watch a lot of that. But, it's always interesting for me also to see the setup of different places and how other teams not only practice, but what their media, where they go, and these kinds of things. Like, for example, when we go to practice for the Bills, like, we can stand and walk around the field pretty much and, kind of get any angle. You can't do that here at their facility. There's bleachers in the end zone, and the media has to stay in the bleachers. So if something's happening on the far side, you can't really see it. You have to do your best. So that was a bit of a challenge, but for the most part, we saw everything. But otherwise, I just thought it was a great day, and it was really good work for both teams.
Was it hard to keep the simultaneously, right? The way I interpreted what I was seeing on social media was that Bills number 1 offense against Bears number 1 defense on one field, and then the opposite on another field simultaneously, right?
Yes. So yes, it was in a way. Now, we were closer. We were in the bleachers pretty much on the field where the Bears offense was going against the Bills defense. And then just to our left, maybe about 20 yards, there's a field. They're coming right at us. And both fields are facing the same way, not like at Bills practice where when you go out to the field house and outside, there's one field going one way and the other like perpendicular. These are going both ways. So once we were there in the bleachers, we're standing there, and actually we've kind of formulated a little plan, which was I had Josh Reed on my left, I had Andy Young of Spectrum News on my right, And Josh and Andy said, all right, I'm watching over here. And then we just figured out, I said, all right, you guys watch the offense, I'll watch the defense. Let's compare notes and tell everybody what we saw. And we kind of were helping each other out like that. But yeah, your eyes try to go to everything you can. Like if you can see a play on one field, then your eyes go immediately to another field. But then you got to write down what you see or tweet what you see. And that becomes a bit challenging because everything's moving so fast. So from that standpoint, though, very efficient because you were able to get both teams were able to do that.
Right.
At the end of it, guys, when there was about maybe one period left, 10, 15 minutes, they did just one field and they rotated offense against defense.
You know, you mentioned the Bills' number one offense, and I have a simple follow-up question to that. Like, who is on it? who are running routes on the Bills' number one offense these days?
Well, everybody really, Mike, and I don't say that as a cop-out, as a, what I can and can't say as a reporter. You get the guys that you would think, and they're just always shuttling in. They really do rotate their wide receivers quite a bit. We know Keon Coleman, Joshua Palmer's out there, Elijah Moore is out there, Tyrell Shavers gets a little bit of run. We see KJ Hamler once in a while. So I would say those are the names you generally see out there. Curtis Samuel did not practice today, and that portion he did do a little bit more today. He was involved in individual work. You'd get Khalil Shakir normally out there. Obviously, he wasn't out there today. So I think it's the guys that you would normally, think about who would be on the first team running routes, and that includes obviously Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox.
How about for Samuel? I mean, 1 year ago is when he was hurt at one of these in Pittsburgh, and for much of the season, it was a story of whether he was fully healthy and just, whether he's healthy or not, the time missed works against the player. And, is that happening again?
Absolutely. And even before practice today, like Sean McDermott kind of made mention of, like, needing to get him back, needing to get him on the field. He's missing valuable reps. He's missing valuable time in whatever way that he said it. In fact, I'll look for the quote. Here's Andy.
Urgency.
Andy Young tweeted this out.
Isn't there urgency?
The urgency needs to be there for all these guys, and Curtis is no different. So, yeah, I mean, he was asked specifically about him. He lumped him in with all these guys. But, yeah, that's right, Bulldog. Urgency is the word.
Yeah. I know we've covered this. I mean, what haven't we covered, right? But hearing McDermott talk like that about Samuel specifically, and anyone else that's missing time too. We heard him early in the week talk about Cole Bishop in this way, right? We got to get these guys out on the field together and get synergy between the safety tandem, et cetera, right? The receiver group, I feel like one of Moore or Samuel is not going to make it, and therefore one of Virgil, Chenault, and Hamler, I think might be the group is going to make it because I think special teams has to play into that, and none of the guys above Moore, from Moore up on the depth chart, including Samuel, are special teams contributors. Right, Mac Hollins was a regular wide receiver last year and played special teams for them too. That doesn't exist with Palmer or Coleman or Shakir, unless Shakir ends up, maybe returning punts once in a while. But still, he's not a gunner, right? He's not covering kicks. So I feel like that door is open for one of those three guys I mentioned to supplant one of the other two.
Yeah, let me just just say, though, in case you didn't know, Jalen Virgil was released.
Oh, I meant Shavers. I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Because I was going to say, you also didn't mention Shavers.
I meant Shavers. Thank you.
So Shavers is the guy. And actually, so today, and I don't disagree with you. So let's just start where you started, whereas Elijah Moore and Curtis Samuel, maybe one of those guys don't make it. Well, right now, Curtis Samuel's not available. Right. And we all know Sean McDermott is very big on availability. Best ability is availability. We say it all the time. We know that. And considering what he said today, I'll add on to this. Elijah Moore was really good today. Like, today's the first day that I think Elijah Moore popped with Josh Allen. And I noted that. I wrote an arrow up, arrow down column today for the joint practice so people could see it. And he's on there. And, like, I noticed early on, like, Elijah Moore, he caught a pass, a short pass, and then he used that speed and that wiggle. Bam, he's off to the races. And he had maybe what would have been a touchdown. Had another catch as well for a nice gain. So, you put those two things together, if it comes down to it, yeah, I think Moore would be ahead of Samuel for those reasons, and Samuel's availability is one of them. Then you go to the other guys, and, I mean, I think Tyrell Shavers obviously can play in the league. We've seen him make a big play. He was big last week again. One of the coolest things I saw today was they were doing a punt return drill, and so you had, like, everybody on the team basically lined up on the sidelines, and they would run out there and run different units for the punt return and punt team and punt return team. And it was like they really concentrated on the gunners. The gunners had their own like kind of drill going on where, okay, like we're going to watch these guys and make sure can you get past 2 guys and you're going to get double teamed. And guys, I have never seen NFL football players get so jacked up for watching gunner drills. It was unbelievable. Like when their guy won, it was, oh my God, it was a party in your face, hooting and hollering. It was crazy. And I say this because there was a play where Tyrell Shavers is the gunner. The Bills are punting the ball. He has 2 guys on him. I mean, he just physically beats the first guy, gets into him, he gets around him. And then the second guy comes to make a block, and he puts a move on him, like almost like a swim move. He comes under him, and he's off to the races to go get the punt returner. And everybody's going crazy on the Bills sideline. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And as soon as that was over, Tyrell Shavers looks at the crowd and he flexes. Like, yeah, he can play special teams, and that could be a difference, right? If he can do something like that and show that he can run down and he can make plays, he can be your Mac Hollins replacement in that regard, then I think he has a shot here. But I still think it's an uphill battle if Curtis Samuel gets healthy. It really comes down to, can Curtis Samuel get healthy enough in time, and how would they feel about eating $7 million about moving off from him?
Sal, how physical was today?
Very physical. I asked a Bears reporter today to compare the Dolphins joint practice with the Bears last week to the Bills joint practice with the Bears this week. And he said to me, he said night and day, he said the Bears have been very intentional about their physicality. They have wanted to be physical all camp long. They're super physical. It's just the energy and the physicality that Ben Johnson wants. And they took it to the Dolphins last week. You guys saw some of those things that were written, right, last week. They took it to the Dolphins. He said that was not the case today. He said the Bills really matched their intensity. They matched their physicality. Now, going into this, Sean McDermott knew that. He made mention of this. He said, they got physical last week. We know that. They're going to get physical with us. We better be there to match that physicality. By the way, as a side note, it's so funny. I tweeted out what the Bears reporter said to me, and I have so many Dolphins fans mad at me and telling me how, because they're so sensitive about it. And yet, because they beat them on the game, right? And they went out in there, they beat them and rolled up all these yards. I'm like, listen, I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is this Bears reporter's like, dude, they took it to the Dolphins, and the Bills are sitting here matching it. And that was intentional on the Bills' part, like I said. I thought today was, like I said, really good football all around. And I know you're not really taking guys to the ground, but when you're going that fast, you're going that hard, guys get taken to the ground. There were plenty of tackles today. It wasn't like guys were trying to necessarily take them to the ground, but it's very hard to stop yourself when you're just trying to be physical and not do that.
I'd like to say, at the risk of sounding like I'm bragging, that I'm proud to be able to point out that anytime I hear something about what a certain team's fans are saying, that this is when I find out about it. Like Sal's saying that is when I find out about it. Right. We talked to the guy, Jeremy Kahn in Baltimore, and there's a reference to Bills and Raiders. Like that's when I find out about this. Like I've crafted my life in this particular area, maybe only, so carefully and so well that I never know. But can Dolphins fans maybe chill? Don't you sort of know in life that
you don't
when it's not your turn to talk?
Right, you don't have it right now.
Just
shut it down.
Isn't it maybe not their turn to talk? Come on.
Hey, I'm with you, Mike. I'm with you. I mean, I've responded to a couple of them. I'm like, you know the old thing where like, oh, well, Dolphins are in the Bills' head. And, I kind of got a little snarky and I said, well, if the Bills were a little bit more in the Dolphins' head, maybe they would figure out how to stop Josh Allen. That hasn't happened yet, right? Like, you're supposed to think about the other team and what's going on. That's the reason I asked, though, because the Bills, the Dolphins, they play each other twice, and there was a lot made of, last week. And, hey, good for the Dolphins. They went out and they atoned for it in their preseason game. But you asked about the physicality, and I'm telling you, like, the Bears have been very intentional about how physical they are. They certainly were against the Dolphins, and what I was told by people on hand today was that the Bills were very good in that regard.
How notable, if at all, do you think it is that both head coaches were – it makes sense for Ben Johnson. He's an offensive-minded coach. He's trying to, the tutelage of this new young quarterback he's paired with here in Caleb Williams. So that makes sense for him to be the guy watching that side of the ball with the whistle to blow plays dead. I read that McDermott was doing the same when the Bills' offense was on the field. So, that feels like an effort to make sure nothing happens. He wanted the responsibility of ultimately protecting Josh Allen as best he could, right? Like, this play is over. I'm the head coach. Blow the whistle.
I did not notice that, so thank you for telling me. I didn't notice that, but I will tell you that it doesn't surprise me. I think head coaches just want to make sure that they're the ones. Like, if something's going to happen, I'm going to make sure that I'm the guy that is on watch here, watching, making sure it doesn't happen. I don't want to leave that in someone else's hand in an environment like this where they blow a late whistle and my quarterback gets tagged, right? Speaking of that, by the way, there was a play today. It was interesting. And this was noted by a lot of the Bears media more than the Bills, but it did happen. There was a play today where, like, Greg Rousseau comes around the back end and Joey Bosa's on the front end, and they got Williams. Like, Rousseau would have been credited with a sack. It was a 3rd down and a 2-minute drill. Rousseau would have had the sack. The Bills' pass rush was very good today, by the way. I wrote about it. We could talk about it. But in this particular play, Rousseau would have had him. And just after Williams kind of lets up, like, Joey Bosa sticks his arm out, and he kind of tags him in the chest plate. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't hit him super hard, but it was hard enough where we noticed it. And no one did anything.
I read that
every
too.
One of the Bears media is like, what is going on? Like, how could you let that happen? So Josh Reed and I are both standing there. We're talking to the Bears media, and we both are like, dude, if that was Josh Allen, you'd probably have to kick Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown off of this field right now because of what they would have done. And then I said, and Alec Anderson, no matter where he is right now, would have come out and done something about that. Like, it was kind of weird and bizarre. And it was totally noted by the Bears media.
Interesting to think that when I saw the other day they invited Marcus Samuelson in to speak to the team before a recent offensive meeting, that would happen.
Matthias Samuelson.
Matthias Samuelson.
You wanted there. Sorry.
Oh, I thought I had some.
Yeah.
Is that who I wanted?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
You're referencing
I had something.
Tage Townsend thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going for, but I blew it.
Yeah.
What are the? Well, you just sort of gave us a look into this, Sal. What are the Bears' vibes? I mean, it's not all negative. We talked to Chris Emma from Chicago the other day, and I told him how I had friends who follow the Bears, and they're very caustic, and sort of like, you need to show them that it's good before they can actually believe it'll be good. What are your, you were there last night too. What is your sense of how people are, feeling about them?
I think it's all about the coach for everybody here right now. They feel that they got the best coach on the market, and he's going to be a really good coach. And that remains to be seen. I'm not sure. And I know we've all been through and seen a lot of coordinators, offensive or defensive, that is the next hot thing that really isn't head coach material. Is that Ben Johnson? I'm not really sure. Maybe he's going to be the greatest coach ever. He might, bomb out, but that's really it for them. It's all about the coach here, because I think they believe Caleb Williams can be really good. He's got to be coached up. He's got to have somebody different than Matt Eberflus around him. He's got to have somebody who's holding him accountable, and that's been the biggest thing that I've heard. The biggest thing I've heard here in Chicago this week is how Ben Johnson is very, very, very about accountability. Like, he doesn't like the way the play is called in the huddle, he'll stop it. If he doesn't like the way someone lined up, he'll stop it. He gets on guys. He gets on Caleb Williams. He gets on Roma Dunze. Nobody's above the team. And I think that's good. That's a good culture to set. That's fine. And, we'll see if it translates. But here in Chicago, I think they believe that's where it starts, is with Ben Johnson having the right coach.
Who did you like, if anybody, from their offense today?
I liked Roma Dunze. He made a heck of a catch in some traffic early on, so I liked him. And then who is? I gotta look up the name, because they said there's a receiver. Mike, you might know this just from off the top of your head. There's a receiver who's been gaining some buzz here, and he looked really good today. And I'm trying to think about who exactly.
He had maybe a big long play today.
Yeah. Burden made a nice catch though, Mike. I know you like Luther Burden.
Yes.
Burden made a nice catch. He did that. I'm gonna
Marcus
try and find the guy's
Burden.
name,
Marcus.
I'm sorry, I'm still struggling.
Oh,
Marcus Samuelson is a chef.
Stop digging.
I'll leave it alone now.
About all the Marcuses here.
Just trying to buy Sal some time.
No, thank you. I'm looking right now, and I think it was. I have it right here. Zacchaeus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Olamide Zacchaeus.
I knew there was an O something. Okay.
Had a touchdown catch against the Bills in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he made a couple plays today, and that was a name that I'd heard that people are catching on to here.
And he's the guy, if I actually, it's too many teams now, Bulldog, but if I actually did follow through with the idea I had once, not the first person to have it, to buy a jersey from my fantasy league winner last year in the League of Hopes and Dreams against Joe, it was Zacchaeus going for 8 for 90 and a touchdown for Washington, and McLaurin going 1 for 5. And he had McLaurin, so I'd have to buy a Zacchaeus jersey.
I see, yeah.
But that did not happen.
Anyone else from the Bills? I saw some reference to Keon Coleman having a really good day out there, Sal.
He did. Yeah, Keon had a really good day. He had started off. They were doing 7-on-7. He gets to the front pylon, just inside the end zone, just inside the pylon. Josh hits him with a beautiful pass, just as he can get his toes in. That was great. He did actually not get his toes in later on a 2-minute ball, and it was a really nice throw right on the sideline. He catches it over the shoulder, deep ball, and the ref said he was out, but it was a nice catch, nice play, nice throw. But I think the highlight of the day for the offense came from Keon Coleman. He cooked a guy. I don't know who it was. He cooked him off the line of scrimmage. It was like one of these deals where it was kind of right to our left, so we were all watching that play after a play on the other field, and you could see right off the line of scrimmage, like Keon Coleman left his guy, and he just gave him a little move, left him, and Josh saw him. Keon raised his hand like, I'm open. It didn't matter. Josh already saw him. He was throwing him the ball anyway. Josh laid it out there. And Keon, because then he saw the ball was coming, he had to go catch up to it. And he did, and he caught it. But it was a fantastic route. I asked him about it afterwards, and I said, is that, I know that's something you've been working on, routes off the line of scrimmage. How validating is it to have something like that happen? And he kind of brushed it off as, hey, I've been working on routes all off season. This is what we've been doing at camp. It's just another route to me. That's what we're here to do.
Sal, Sean McDermott said early in the day that he didn't know yet whether Allen and starters would play against the Bears. If you believe that, why do you think he's hesitating? And if you don't, well, what do you think they'll do? Either way, I guess I want to ask that question.
I think he wanted to get through today for a couple reasons. Number one, to see how the team performed. And number two, health-wise, right? I think that if he makes a commitment now, he probably feels, the way that Sean can be with these things where you don't want to put yourself in a corner. And that's why he doesn't put timelines on injuries. And if he makes a commitment now before practice and then something at practice changes that and he wants to change, sure, he could change. Nobody would really care, but I don't think he wants to do that. And he probably really doesn't know. He wants to evaluate. He wants to evaluate his team. Did they get enough work in? Did they do the things we needed to? Did we see what we needed to see from the first team offense, the first team defense? A couple things today, guys. Like Taylor Rapp and Cole Bishop were on the field together, the whole practice. The 7-on-7, 11-on-11, great to see. So maybe now you don't need them to play on Sunday. Maybe you still do because you need those reps. But maybe today takes the place of that so you don't have as much risk because you saw them get all those reps today. That's why I think that he doesn't want to do things like that.
Yeah. And I almost feel like there's two separate buckets here. There's the starters, the ones on both sides of the ball, and we'll see how that all gets shaken out, like you just said, Bishop and Rapp. Going into today, if they're healthy, I would have thought they'll probably play, but maybe because they got work today, maybe they won't. I feel like Josh Allen saying himself earlier in camp that he doesn't feel like he needs preseason reps. He says he'll do it if the coach thinks he needs it, then he'll do it. He's not going to object. But I feel like him saying that, I want to say I'd be surprised if McDermott in turn then went to him and said, I think you need to play against the Bears.
Yeah, I could see that, Bulldog. I could see that for sure. The game is on national TV on Fox on Sunday night. I'm sure they want Josh Allen to play, right? So not that matters to the Bills, but I could probably see something like that happening.
Couple things before we wrap up, Sal. One, what time is your Cub game tomorrow? Because my Red Sox Marlins game is at 4, and I just feel like we need to get dueling photos outside these iconic ballparks to share with everyone.
Where am I going to go at 4 o'clock tomorrow?
The Cubs tomorrow are at 1:20 Central, so 2:20 Eastern.
Okay.
The Cubs are great at the 20s. They always play these home games at 20 after. I like that about the Cubs. It's the only thing I think I like about the Cubs.
So there's that, and I know you told the story this morning with Jeremy, but I want to give you a chance to share it with our audience. Art Wander passing away, I was finding out about that yesterday, and I loved the story that you told about your interactions with him.
Yeah, thank you. Obviously, condolences to Art, his family, his friends, and so many people across Western New York and everywhere who listened to Art Wander growing up. Pre-internet, on the radio. He was such a voice for all of us in so many ways. And for me, I always would say that I considered myself an old soul when I was a kid because I liked to listen to talk radio as a teenager, right? Who really did that? But I loved sports radio, and I would listen to talk radio. And I remember being out with my parents and driving around and being with my dad in the car, and my dad would let me listen to talk radio. And if we went somewhere, I'd say, I want to listen to this, and stay in the car. And he'd go in, and I'd listen to it, and that was really cool. Well, I started calling Art's show, and Art had this thing where his callers had nicknames, and it was a big part of his show. And I always remember the first caller in every day was a guy named Mr. T. Like, he was always the first in, and he'd give his Bills and Sabres takes. And there was a guy named the Polish Prince. There was a guy named Ace. You know, there was a guy named Bandit. And it was all different kinds of guys. So it's really cool. So I'm like, all right, I'm like, 16 years old, 17 years old, and I got to call in. I'm not just Sal anymore from Cheektowaga. I got to have a nickname. Well, I went to Cleveland Hill High School, and I love my alma mater, as you guys know, and love my school, so I became the Golden Eagle. That was my name when I would call in. Hey, let's go to the Golden Eagle. So that became my nickname, and that was pretty cool. And one time I called him, and I said, hey, would you mind if I called you off the air about something? And he said, sure, do that. So I called, and this is obviously pre-cell phone. You know, I'm wait, and I call the landline, and he picked up like right away after the show, and he picks up and he just says, Golden Eagle, how are you? And I'm like, oh, hey, Art, how are you? And I'm this teenager, and there's this guy that, really means so much to me in talk radio and what I'm listening to. And I said, I really want to do what you do for a living. I want to be in radio. I want to go to Syracuse University. Could you write me a letter of recommendation? He said, oh, my gosh, absolutely, I'll do that. And he said, come on down to the studio sometime. And, we worked out a time. I drove down. I had my dad drive me down, I believe, to Franklin Street, the old studios on Franklin. And that's where I met Art for the first time. And he wrote me a letter of recommendation to Syracuse. And I can truly say, like, he is maybe the main reason that I'm in this business, because I loved listening to him so much.
Was it good, the letter? Like, was it everything you wanted it to be?
I don't remember. I just knew I got a letter from Art, and it was pretty cool that he wrote
it. Was enough.
So.
It was enough.
I'm sure I have it somewhere, though.
Right. It didn't hurt.
Right.
It didn't hurt. Very good.
No.
All right, Sal, enjoy the weekend there. We'll talk next week.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
That's our Sal Capaccio on the Western Hotline. His appearances are brought to you by New York's only outlet liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet?
I also got a letter from Art, although I wasn't the only one to get it, about how we should mention when we worked at the same station, he's puttering around his apartment. And so don't even think about, bothering.
I saw that story shared a few different places yesterday.
You did?
Yeah, Steve Seshan was reminiscing about his time with Art Wander, and he mentioned specifically the puttering around the apartment.
Art was a fun character. It was fun to be around him. We'll take a break. 803-0550 for your calls. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
Joint practice today for the Buffalo Bills over at Hallis Hall with the Bears ahead of the game on Sunday night. And just 5 players did not practice for Buffalo. Khalil Shakir, Tylen Grable, Cedric Van Pran Granger, Max Hairston, and Cam Lewis. We did not get any word on if starters will play on Sunday. And then for more on today's practice, Sal Capaccio does have a piece up at our website, WGR550.com. But looking ahead to Sunday, pregame is going to get underway right here on WGR at 4 p.m. We'll carry you all the way to kickoff at 8, where we'll then hand the baton off to Chris Brown, Eric Wood, and Sal, who will have the call from the Northwest Bank broadcast booth. But before the weekend games get going, we do have 2 preseason games tonight. At 7 o'clock, the Falcons host the Titans. Then at 10, the Chiefs are out west to take on Seattle. Both those games are going to be on NFL Network. And then plenty of baseball tonight. The Bisons host Lehigh Valley just after 6:30. On the bump for Buffalo, Shane Bieber. George Springer also again in the lineup. He's batting second for the second day in a row. And you can listen to that game on our sister station, the Bet 1520. 2 games after 7, the Jays host the Rangers and the Mets have the Mariners in town, while at 8:15, the Yankees, they are in St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. That's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
McAllister, Ekitike, through one challenge, through everything, and a goal on his Premier League debut for one of the new heroes of Anfield potentially, Ugo Ekitike.
Oh, get to know him. Hugo Ekitike.
Shades of Eichel scoring in his debut against Ottawa. And maybe having it taken down because of a review or something.
Right.
Or did Kane... No, I think Eichel scored, and then Kane maybe gave... there was a review that pulled a goal down.
Yes.
In that game.
I was there.
Yeah.
One of them. Was it... Whose goal was it? Was it Kane's goal to tie it?
Yeah, I think Kane's goal got pulled back. Eichel scored before that, I think. And then,
right before.
Yeah. And then, look out, here they come. Oh, hold on. Toenail.
The 2 things I remember about that game are that and Robin Leonard getting hurt immediately.
Right, yeah.
In his first game for the Sabres.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here we go. Oh,
yeah. Anyway, so I didn't mean to step all over this Liverpool moment here. But
I don't have anything to add.
Pretty cool. A lot of hype for this kid, and he scored in his first game.
So. I like saying it.
Yeah. He'll be fun to watch. He's tall and thin, like just very different
like
looking.
Matthias Samuelsson.
Like he's a different... Wait, you mean Marcus?
Damn. That would have been funny.
That is going to live.
I think.
That's going to live forever.
Oh, well, whatever. Marcus Samuelsson is a TV chef. That's who I went to.
Oh, I believe
right
you.
there. It was said today that Tyler Bass is, quote, moving in the right direction. Let's hope. What's the wrong direction? Guys are hurt. They're recovering.
His hip is actually deteriorating.
Imagine if he's not moving in the right direction.
Sorry.
What have we got? Yeah. He better be moving in the right direction. We just can't determine the pace at which he's moving. But that's the update on the Bills kicker. Still no Gabe Davis signing or Amari Cooper or I think Rasul Douglas.
I believe that's correct.
We're less than a month to the season. And these guys are not even in camp anywhere. What happens here? No one wants Davis?
Someone offers more money / role dependent on an injury. So I think anybody of that, those are very different players, like accomplishment-wise, reputation-wise. I mean, Cooper had been, when the Bills acquired him, Cooper was a number 1 wide receiver. Like, that was a credible idea. And holy cow, that's a big fall from last October to now. He doesn't even have a job. Davis is, a mid-round pick and more of a role player. Douglas is kind of maybe in between, right? He's more than that, but he's not quite, a number 1 guy like Cooper used to be. But I think in all cases, guys like that maybe are just, I'll bet if they wanted to be on a team right now, they could be. But they're waiting for the situation that looks the most promising, whether that is money or opportunity to therefore get more money. just get to me, if a guy like Chase Claypool could land in a training camp last year, then I think Amari Cooper, if he really wanted to, and I maybe say the same thing about Gabe Davis, could be somewhere. They just don't feel like they want to just fight it out for a spot as on a practice squad and become KJ Hamler or something.
Can we say the same thing about Chase Claypool, or is that over?
I think probably over, but who knows?
Cooper's made a lot of money, at least. I mean, he's been in the league 10 years.
Yeah, he had one, if not two, pretty big contracts at one point in his career. So, yeah, he's not lacking for resources, I wouldn't think.
But, I mean, Davis got the contract from Jacksonville. He'll get some of that money. He's not going to get the whole thing because he's already out of there. Injuries, too. He didn't pass his physical with them.
Right. So, maybe for him it's more he's not – teams don't believe, or he isn't himself, he knows, not able to play right now.
Very disappointing. Not everybody, especially by the end, loved him here. But at worst, leaving the Bills for Jacksonville, he was what? Big, capable, big play, big game Gabe. He was capable of a lot. And in Jacksonville, nothing really happened. Injuries. I don't know. I don't want his career to be over at this point. I don't want to see him playing for the Argos next.
Yeah, I'm certainly not rooting for his career to be over.
I know.
But I don't. I'm surprised that it hasn't found a home. But if he's not healthy, that's really the beginning and the end of it. If you can't pass a physical and go through the rigors of training camp, then you're not going to get a gig. But I'm surprised even with that it's gotten to that point.
803-0550 to join us. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Eric Edholm will join us to talk about Bills and Bears today, the upcoming NFL season just after 5. Hope you enjoyed, I did, Sal's story about Art Wander and, betting on himself, taking the initiative to ask Art Wander, then a popular local host, Sal, a high school student, for a letter of recommendation. I've been interacting with a friend of a friend who wants to get into sports media just the same, and has asked me for, a chat. And I'm always happy to do that. I wrote him back today. We figured out a time. And I had the thought after finalizing that, phone call, I'm not sure I know anymore how to get into this.
What the steps are?
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm not sure I know anymore.
Yeah.
What to do. So I have to brush up on
the path.
What is the path anymore?
Right.
Because, sorry, I shouldn't always be so eager to go into the past, but you couldn't just start a podcast or anything. You couldn't. I talked into a tape recorder. Because I enjoyed doing that and thought maybe I would get better or maybe somebody'd want to hear it when I was when Sal was. I was a high school student at the time. But I couldn't just sort of buy a camera.
And do a show.
Right. But now you can just do that. I think my advice would be just go.
Just get some reps.
I've heard people
wherever you're going to get reps.
That's
get
right.
Reps.
That's right. I've heard people I respect say that. Nobody's going to be listening or watching. Don't worry about it.
Right.
But just turn the light on and start talking.
Right.
Turn the microphone on and start talking.
That's pretty much what I've told. Owen's here already, but as he's starting, almost anybody that reaches out to him that asks him to go on something, I tell him just go do it. It doesn't matter if it's got 10 followers or 10,000 or way more than that. Just go do it. Any conversation you're going to have is going to be good. Just good. Get reps. There's no harm that's going to come of that. So, that is, it's different than, feeling like you needed to go to school for it. Which, I'm certainly not against that. It's just, but there's a lot of alternative paths now that just didn't exist when we were in our 20s.
And I've always given this one bit of advice in schools and in different groups from my experience to just similar to that. Just say yes. Just
right.
Whatever the opportunity is. I did traffic reports and rowing news, just different things.
Yep.
Just say yes. You don't necessarily expect to like it, and you might not be knowledgeable, but you have some sort of basic knowledge of reporting or communications, then, I think maybe with help, you'll figure the rest out. So remember covering the Empire State Games rowing in Rochester one year. Nice putback by Lincoln.
Right.
She got her body in position there to be able to get that board.
She's had an advantage in the low post all evening.
She's really dominating the low post. They got to feed Lincoln. That's working for this team. That's working for Barker tonight.
Yep. Barker.
Right? Barker is getting it done in the paint. That's a line I didn't expect to say today.
No.
Barker is getting it done in the paint.
Right. You can't contain Barker in the paint.
They're too tough tonight.
They set their mind to it. You just cannot handle them.
You were not even Bulldog yet, or were you?
No, I was not. I was. This opportunity came about because I was working part-time at WBEN.
Okay.
And so somebody from Niagara County and a station out there reached out to Howard, like, do you got anybody that might want to do this? And Howard asked me, and I said, sure, I'll go do that.
I'll go to Barker.
Norm Palmer was the play-by-play guy, as I remember. I hope that came into my brain
Marcus
and I just said
Palmer.
Norm, yeah.
Parker on Barker.
There was one venue, I don't remember, Star Point, Roy Hart, and we went to them all.
It was a regular thing?
It was a regular gig, yeah, like 2 games a week for a season, basically. Wow. I did. And on WLVL in Lockport, the Sporty 1340 is what they called it then.
Listen.
Anyway.
Careful.
There was
the dump button works.
There was this one gymnasium where the spot for us was like a perch. It was like between the 2 sets of bleachers, maybe above where the teams came out of the locker rooms, and it was like almost like a ski lift. Like there was you were in there and you had to like climb down a ladder to get out. So you just like up in this perch. There was a little desk there, so that was where we worked. I'll never forget that. But I don't remember which school, so I should say I'll never.
It sounds
forget
good.
I remember. Yeah, it was a really cool spot. But I just don't remember what school. But I remember having to do that one time. Good times.
Those are fun memories. I would like to be able to say that my memories of those years are also fun, but I'm still scarred by doing the video recording at Ken West for football and having the camera case in a windy day fly off the roof above the press box where I was standing and just into the crowd.
Oh,
There's a huge case flying into the crowd and landing on a guy's head.
Oh, boy.
Luckily, it was empty, and the man was, it seemed, uninjured. But I don't know. Was I supposed to be standing on that to make sure that thing didn't blow away?
I don't know.
I didn't think about that. It just sort of took off in the wind. And I just looked down, and I'm watching it like it's in slow motion landing on this fan.
Oh, no.
It was bad. Otherwise, it all sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
Eric Edholm coming up at 5. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR. Home. Been a while since we've had Eric on, to my knowledge. That'll be at the top of the hour. He was at Bills-Bears practice today in Chicago. So was Sal. If you missed Sal, check it out on the Odyssey app. Got an article up on the day's events. WGR550.com. Let's go to John here. Hello, John.
Hey, gentlemen. Quick story about art, okay?
Sure.
This was a long time ago, back in like the late 80s. Late 90s, I'm sorry. The Sabres were doing really good. I think it was Lindy's like first or second year. And me and my brother, we used to smoke cigarettes back in the day. During the first intermission, we snuck up into the stairwell. And we heard the door open, and we were like, oh, no. And all of a sudden, it's Art Waters. Like, oh, guys, I'm here to have with you, right? Because he was a cigarette smoker. You guys knew that, right?
I can't say that I did. I didn't know. I didn't know Art that well.
Yeah, so we sat there, shot the stuff with him for like 5 minutes, and he's like, "How do you think they're gonna do? You think they're gonna go to the cup?" And then when we were done hacking our buddy, he goes, "I'll see you in the second intermission."
Oh, good. I'm glad you had that interaction. And you have that memory.
That was pretty wild, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it, man. Have a great weekend.
Yeah,
boys.
you too. Thanks, John.
Yep. A lot of people smoked.
I smoked.
You smoked.
I don't recall ever smoking in the stairwell at the Odd.
You got thrown out of there anyway.
I got thrown out of there anyway.
Somehow.
Not for smoking.
Not for smoking.
But
missed opportunity.
You could have had that. You could have had that interaction with me.
That was allowed.
I don't know that it exactly was
Didn't you? That's where you went to smoke.
Yeah, that is. I don't know that if they had a policy, they didn't enforce it, I guess is what I would say. Because there were lots of people that would do that. I can remember those stairwells smelling like cigarette smoke.
Yes.
Pretty regularly. I don't know if there were no smoking signs or not. It's quite possible it was allowed. I mean, there was a time in the Odd, I think, where you could have smoked sitting in your seat.
Anywhere.
Right? It's
Yeah.
just like no big deal.
On the bench.
On the plane, even. On the on an airplane.
On the bench.
Smoking in the locker room. There was
in the locker room.
A lot of smoking.
In the net.
A lot of smoking.
Maybe just to sort of pass the time during a TV timeout or something like that.
Right.
Different times. Eric Edholm coming up next. This is WGR.
station, the Bet 1520. And then 3 games in the majors, 2 of them just after 7. The Jays host the Rangers, and the Mets have the Mariners in town, while at 8:15, the Yankees, they are in St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Show.
Satan.
It's Mike Shope.
I've often wondered that.
Well, he, they, I don't know what his pronouns are, or their pronoun. Anyway, Satan.
And the Bulldog.
What's the upside of doing well?
Well, maybe they're too busy making everyone else's life hell.
Oh, boy.
And you might just be able to do your own thing if you're partnered with Satan.
It's Mike Shope and the Bulldog.
They're too busy, making Scott Norwood miss field goals.
Oh, come on.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
Welcome back. I'm Mike Shope. With us is the Bulldog, our, among many other things, Hard Knocks correspondent. I feel like I should...
Oh, that's me. Yeah, right.
Feel like I should do more. I'll watch the hell out of Chiefs Seahawks tonight, I'll tell you right now.
All right, good for you.
I watched the entire Raiders Seahawk game last week, same time, Friday night at 10. It was Thursday last week.
Yeah.
I think.
First
night.
Yeah, that's right. And there were no games last night.
No games last night. No, it's getting serious.
What are we doing?
It's serious time. We can't play on Thursdays.
How is there not a game on Monday night, by the way, this past Monday?
They don't have that anymore.
You get me all excited about preseason football, all excited in finger quotes, and then no game Monday night?
They don't have that anymore.
Where's
in the preseason?
Where are Joe Buck and Troy Aikman? Where are their reps?
I don't know. Reps. They probably would get to sit in the preseason too, like the top players. Titans, Falcons, then Chiefs, Seahawks, NFL Network doubleheader tonight. That's the whole schedule. With us now on the West Her Hotline is Eric Edholm. It's been a while, Eric. You're in Chicago, I think. Must be nice having these other NFL teams just drop by for joint practices this year.
Yeah, right. I mean, it actually got me out to practice today. I was joking with some of the guys out there. I thought, boy, I kind of like this working from home business. I have to leave the house, but it was good to see some football today, and things got a little chippy at one point today.
We'll certainly ask you about the Bills. Being in Chicago yourself, Eric, I wonder what you think of the Bears vibes. I've mentioned this a couple of times this week, once to a Chicago reporter, Chris Emma, just how the people in my life who follow and like the Bears are very rigid about them. I don't know who they could have brought in to have them sound optimistic. I think they're open to it working out, but they really have to be shown. Is that the sense you get around Chicago, and is that even your sense?
Yeah, no, and I mean, I'm kind of an outsider here. I've been in Chicago a long time. I'm not necessarily a Bears fan, but obviously seeing them up close, it gives me a little bit of a different perspective maybe. But, yeah, I mean, I think they're, they were once sold on Mark Trestman. They were once sold on Matt Nagy. They were sold on all these other coaches along the way, Matt Eberflus, and as kind of the young ascending coordinator ready to take on head coaching duties. And so there's definitely optimism given what the Lions have done the last 2.5 seasons. And, it took Ben about 8 or 9 games as play caller to kind of figure things out. I wonder if there won't be another period like that. I mean, they could start 0-2. They've got Minnesota at home Monday night and then at Detroit, the reunion for Ben in week 2. And, 0-2 in the division to start the year would be really tough coming off last season. I think would deflate some people, but they're passionate. They're right up there with some of the fan bases that care the most, but man, they're hurting a little bit right now in terms of just what's happened recently.
What do you think, Eric, of how Johnson is being portrayed, at least from where I'm viewing it from? Most of what I hear about is him reacting pretty aggressively when mistakes are made, whether it's the complicated play calls in the huddle or formational mistakes, whatever, that he's really getting after guys. And I'll bet fans generally are welcoming that and think all the guys need, toughen them up and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
It's 2025. How do you think that's going to go over?
Well, he's definitely demanding, and he's definitely exacting. And, from my vantage point today, it was hard to see him, and I wasn't exactly watching Ben's, sideline gesticulations or whatever. But, yeah, based on the reports that we've heard so far, that's been accurate, getting on Luther Burden for not knowing the plays and kicking him out of practice and, having to separate guys. Yesterday they did a fun drill and had the Joe Tooney, offensive guard, take on a defensive player, I forget who it was, in a receiving drill. So they've definitely lightened things up. And I've gotten the sense that, for as much, pushing as he's doing, he's also getting through to some guys. And you've seen the response. And they came out fired up today. Tell you what, I mean, they were getting on some of Josh's passes, batting them down, intercepting them. I mean, early on, I would say the Bears won the day, and then things tilted back the other way as time went on.
With Eric Edholm, he was there for Bills Bears today, and you've already mentioned that it got a little chippy, I think might have been your word, and you tweeted that. What do you think of, feel free to elaborate on that, by the way, what do you think of these joint practices? They almost seem more competitive than the preseason games.
Oh, absolutely. Now they do. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I sort of caught on to this years ago when I went to my first joint practice, and I was like, first of all, this is way better than just watching one team, right? And, you can sort of pick and choose what you want. You want to watch Josh against the Bears defense, you do that. You want to watch Caleb Williams against the Bills? Okay, let's see that. So you kind of – and the beautiful thing today, they really timed it up well. So it would be like one play on one field would happen, then the next play. So you really could get – a pretty good vantage point. So from a viewing perspective, it's great. The players, they're all tired of hitting each other, of course, and now they're going to lay it out on somebody else. And, yeah, I think you're right. Something about playing in the middle of the day. It was hot today. It was over 90. Going up against an unfamiliar foe, not somebody you see in the locker room every day, especially a team, you're not going to play every year like this. When you put those teams together, sometimes sparks will fly. And, yeah, there was about a half hour, 30, 40 minutes there where multiple incidents, and it seemed like every play had a flag or pushing or shoving or something.
Yeah, I've never thought to ask anyone who would know and have a say in it, but I would assume teams, unlike in the preseason, like if the Bears starters are going to play on Sunday night, we don't know about Josh Allen yet. I don't think he's going to play, but some other starters may. But, what do you always hear about preseason game plans on both sides of the ball? Well, we're not really doing our stuff. We're just, I would think if you're practicing your stuff. So, that's more time on task that I think could be helpful in a more controlled environment than a game would be, but yet there is another team there. So, yeah, I could see a scenario. I think teams, the Bills, maybe one of them with Josh Allen, are treating this as the opportunity to get him reps and not bother with the preseason games.
No doubt. And you can see, I know this seems like a funny analogy, but there's a reason why these NFL teams are so paranoid about fans recording practice, especially a joint practice, but on their phones, and you see a zillion signs up when you go to camp. And I'm reminded, because I haven't been to practice in a couple of years now, but, you see it every 14 feet, do not record stuff, whatever. The reason is because they're putting it out there then, right? They're not doing it when it's on TV. I think I agree with your assessment there. And so, yeah, I mean, is it structured in terms of okay, we're doing 2-minute now we're doing red zone, now we're doing this? And yes, but at the same time, you get all those different looks, and you can run your full battery of plays on both sides of the ball and feel like you're getting your money's worth.
Eric Edholm, NFL.com, our guest. Eric, what is your sense of the Bills here? I'll say it, you couldn't really blame them for being bored, whether it's just at their own practices or in general, because it's very tempting out here, and maybe it's an effort that gets made internally to not just sort of want to skip ahead to January. They've won the division 5 years in a row. They're a big favorite to do so again. And the whole story is, can they win then? So it might be, I don't want to say too much about this, but it's a certain kind of challenge, isn't it?
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Yeah. I mean, it's not like you said, they're getting a free pass to January. You still got to go through it. Maybe the Patriots are better this year. Maybe the Dolphins have a last gasp in them. Maybe the Jets are a tricky team to face with the run game and Aaron Glenn coming in. But like you said, they're the favorites for a good reason and probably will at some point eventually pull away and maybe coast to a division title. It really determines, what we decide about them down the road, whether this is ever a team that fulfills its potential is based on, how they play and how they play on the road, how they face up against these AFC heavyweights. Who's in the mix this year, too? I mean, that's the other factor is like Cincinnati could rejoin that party, and that's a real interesting matchup for Buffalo. So, again, we assume it's kind of the usual faces, the Baltimores and the Kansas Cities and whatnot, but I wonder if, there aren't other teams in the AFC that can claim a seat at that big boy table. But you look at the schedule this year, some challenging home games for sure, but
they're all at home.
I mean, that's it. The road schedule looks, I never use the word easy in the NFL, but it looks tasty. It's nice.
Right.
I like their chances. If they're better defensively, I think they're a fascinating team again.
Yeah, well, a lot of the focus this offseason was on defense and even on defensive line. I mean, you got draft picks in the second and the fourth round at defensive tackle, an edge player in the third round, so and a corner, as well in the first round. So I mean, they went hard at it here, and I'm just curious what you think of them and free agency, too. Joey Bosa is here. Michael Hoyt is here. He's going to miss the first 6 games along with Larry Ogunjobi because of a suspension. But they really did flush it out and bring back a very new-looking group.
Right. And again, just sort of piggybacking off the idea of January being when it's going to matter. I mean, the beautiful thing is you don't have to start any of these guys right away. I mean, you know what I mean? Like Maxwell Harrison being out and – like, are you going to throw him out there even if Trey White's not at, peak form or whatever? Probably not, right? You certainly want to work him in the way the Lions did with Terry and Arnold or something like that, where you're not going to just throw him into the fire immediately and be smart with him. And, maybe TJ Sanders is, the future there. But, I'm sure they're going to continue giving him first-team looks and all that, but he'll be in the rotation more likely, and we'll see where he is come the end of the season. So same thing with the 2 veterans with the suspensions. Probably not didn't work out perfectly at the time of the signing, but again, if you are able to squeeze the most possible out of, Rousseau and Bosa and everybody else for the first 6 games, now these guys come on and help. So, that's really where the time allows you to kind of flesh some things out on that side of the ball.
Eric, do you have a particular opinion about what happened with James Cook here? I mean, Bulldog and I have been sitting here for 6 months talking about him like almost literally every day, thinking that there could be a holdout, and then there wasn't, and there kind of was, and then he got a pretty good deal. Which, in the end, maybe isn't all that surprising. The Bills have had very few of these sort of conflicts in recent years. Do you think they did all right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, wasn't he kind of looking for 15 per year? I mean, wasn't the number he was hoping for higher? I think the Bills did all right. On the same measure, there's only, I think, a handful of running backs, maybe 2 or 3, who have more total guaranteed money currently, and not counting what guys have already been paid. So I think it's easy to say this, but I think it's probably a pretty win-win type situation. He's got to produce. He's got to continue taking steps forward. Obviously, the touchdowns were great last year, and you saw the full package of his game on display. But I still think there's more room for him to expand. So yeah, I mean, with the running back position starting to get a little bit of love now, that contract, I don't think will look bad, unless there's some rash of injuries that come up or anything like that. But yeah, I just seemed like the communication was, I'm not going to say too much, but it just seemed like the Bills were trying and they weren't always maybe getting a response on the other end. That's my read of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about the rest of the skill players? You were there, like you said today. We seemed online here, just following along and even talking to our Sal Capaccio, who's on the beat for our station there, that Keon Coleman maybe had a bit of a day. He
did. Yeah, he had one double move that was fantastic and just reached out and plucked the ball, and it was a great play. It was really when the Bills had started getting some rhythm. I apparently Palmer had a touchdown today. I didn't see it, so I can't comment on that. he's always one of those players for me that I really like. Good-looking player, right? I mean, he just looks the part and moves very well. He's a little bit quiet, like he goes stretches without making much noise, but then all of a sudden he'll strike and make a big play. So I don't know that he's a volume guy. And again, with Shakir out there, not out there, I should say, you're not seeing the full picture, but it feels like they're doing everything they can to sort of display what Keon can do. And I thought he was great, especially in red zone, but man, I mean, just sort of picked it up as time went on. I think he had one drop or one pass that he couldn't pull in early, and then all of a sudden the Jets were off. So he was great. Kincaid was a little quiet. He had a drop early on and then kind of came on with a couple plays. Cook showed some bursts on some runs. I'm trying to think. Johnson had one as well. It was quiet for Shavers. I didn't see much out of him today. And again, I'm just kind of rolling through my Rolodex here of names. But I thought they looked okay.
That's what it is like now. Since post Diggs and even Davis, Eric.
Yeah.
we need the rosters when it comes to.
But it's not bad though. I think once this group comes together, I don't know what they plan for Curtis Samuel or if he's in the picture or not, but. I mean, I've always liked Keon, and I think last year's inconsistencies, I think, are going to be ironed out.
It's interesting how it's shifted, for like the COVID year or two and this new, young, amazing group of quarterbacks just being able to just breeze their way down the field. And then defenses, I think, overall decided it was worth it to just try to prevent that from happening. Go ahead, lighten the boxes, different things to make it, to force you into more of a running game. And the Bills, pretty smoothly adjusted to that, to the tune last year of 30 rushing touchdowns. Helps when your quarterback contributes about half of them. But that's the trend, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I think it is for sure. I mean, I heard Bill Belichick talking about this years ago when everybody was playing a 4-3 defense, and he basically said, all right, well, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to play a 3-4. And it just, it always made me think in the back of my head, like, whenever you see these massive trends in one direction, you're going to obviously see some kind of swing back. And last year, teams found ways to be productive running the football, and I think the dual threat quarterback has obviously helped usher that in a little bit too. And just a less stubbornness about what, quote unquote college offenses were and how they'd fit in the NFL. No, they work, there's a place for it. So yeah, I'm happy that teams have gotten back to running the football, and it's, whatever you call balance these days. I think we're closing in on that.
It's so funny how resistant the NFL can be or was to that sort of thing. Like,
sure.
Spread offenses were looked down upon. It's high school offense, and it became the college offense. It's still college offense. This is the NFL, and now it's just like, yeah, okay. Like, I'm in a place where if there's, like, Joe Burrow, I feel like is incredible, but like he's a tick below Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen for me because he just isn't going to hurt you the way those guys can on 3rd and 7.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like we're bringing the Veer offense to the NFL and trying to, do the wishbone and Bud Wilkinson and stuff. Like, those guys have their place in time, right? But it's the marriage of the run game and the pass game and the RPOs and just all that stuff that was, like you said, I think there was obviously the worry about quarterbacks getting hurt. I get that. And, when you build an NFL roster to fit a specific type of system or at least a range of systems and you try to do something else, it's going to take a while. So teams are resistant for a lot of reasons, but the talent pushes you in the direction. I think that's what's going to guide the league in most cases, but there's always guys who get left out.
Eric, last thing before you go, I have to indulge myself here. 3 words from your Twitter bio: Dale Murphy Scholar.
Yeah.
So he was my favorite as a kid. The best ball. Oh yeah. The best ball I ever hit in baseball, I thought I was Dale Murphy. It was just sort of like right-handed hitter one time. Well, not even two. Once.
Right.
One time. I felt like I was Dale Murphy. So he was my favorite. He's been on the show, I think, once, a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But how did you come to be a Dale Murphy scholar, as you put it?
I grew up in the Boston area. Don't hold it against me, boys. But
Fine.
Yeah, I grew up in the area, and I was kind of the post-'86 World Series hangover. I'm that old. So, yeah, like watching baseball and being obsessed with the sport. I could watch Canadian Expos broadcast. I could watch WOR. I could watch the Mets. I hated the Mets. They just beat us. So I was like, all right, I'm going to start watching the Braves. And I thought, man, I did not appreciate this Dale Murphy guy enough on this last place Braves teams. And I always loved the guy. And he follows me on Twitter. I have no idea why, but it's, the 13-year-old version of me would have been blown away at that.
You put my name in your bio, I'll follow you. I mean, that's a sure thing.
That's a rule, I think.
Bulldog will be at Fenway tomorrow.
Okay, very nice. Very cool. I was there last summer.
Very
Good.
cool.
Yeah, it's been more than 20 years since I've been.
It had been over 10 for me when I last went, so I don't get back enough.
Thank you for today, Eric. We'll talk again maybe during the season. Please.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot. Eric Edholm, NFL.com. Murphy, TBS, 535, Braves.
You're right.
Always was one of two pitchers. Every game. Somehow they managed to go through the whole season with two starting pitchers. Rick Mailer or Zane Smith. Those were their two starting pitchers.
Not one of the Necros?
No one else ever started a game for like 5 years for the Braves other than Rick Mailer and Zane Smith.
I feel like I can see Zane Smith's face.
Yeah, I can see it.
No chin, right? Like kind of a round face with I just see a round, like a moon face.
Okay, a moon face.
What
Okay,
I see, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Not that hateable.
No, I'm not making a point about it being hateable. It was distinctive to me.
Like a little bit of a mullet.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Mailer pitched for the Reds my first game ever at Shea to see the Mets with my friend. Took the train the weekend at Shea. Got there early. We had tickets way up at the top. Walked into the mezzanine section just to see it. I don't even think I had a camera or anything. 1990. Just to see it. Usher, in like less than a second, zips over. He smells blood. He's like, you guys want to sit here this weekend? Like, yes. $20 each. Done.
Did you had that?
We gave him 20. We each gave him,
had that. All right.
We each gave him $20. We never even went up to the upper deck.
Wow.
Never even went up there. And he's like, I'll have to move you a couple times, depending on who shows up. But
right. Yeah.
You're all set. 3 games.
Oh, that's great.
An extra 20. We got to sit behind the plate, mezzanine. Which, what is mezzanine? It was just good. It was like in the middle.
Right. It's not
good
field level, but it's not the upper deck.
Not the upper deck.
Right.
And Mailer was the Red starter on the Friday night, first game, and Straw took him deep, and we just sort of lost it. I might have even cried. That big apple rises up, home run.
Right.
All of it. Like, that was just what we were there for. We were there to see Strawberry crush one.
Yeah.
And we got it.
I'm starting to get very excited about tomorrow.
Yes.
It's been a long time, and I'm so happy. I didn't really have much. I got tickets through the company because our part. Odyssey has the flagship of the Red Sox station in Boston, and so I didn't get the pick seats, but I'm sitting in a spot that I would have absolutely chosen, like first base side, so I'm looking at the Green Monster.
Yeah.
First choice might have been like on the Green Monster itself, which wasn't available when I was there last. But to be able to just have that view, that's all I really wanted.
Very cool. And it's a chance to see them renew their long-standing rivalry with the Marlins.
Sure. Yes, of course.
Which will be great.
Yeah, blood feud.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here at 803-0550. This is WGR.
Been since so long, all the feels gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over, it's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life. And now it's about to leave. Oh, roller coaster. We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over, it's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life.
Today for the Buffalo Bills against the Chicago Bears ahead of Sunday night's game. Just 5 players did not practice for Buffalo: Khalil Shakir, Tylen Grable, Cedric Van Pran Granger, Max Hairston, and Cam Lewis. And for more on today's practice, Sal Capaccio has a piece up at our website, WGR550.com. Looking ahead to Sunday, pregame right here on WGR is going to get underway at 4 p.m. We'll carry you all the way to kickoff at 8, where we'll then hand the baton off to Chris Brown, Eric Wood, and Sal Capaccio, who will be on the call from the Northwest Bank broadcast booth. But before the weekend games do get underway, we do have 2 preseason games this evening. At 7, the Falcons host the Titans. Then at 10 o'clock, it's the Chiefs. They're out west in Seattle. Both those games will be on the NFL Network. And then plenty of baseball tonight. The Bisons, they host Lehigh Valley just after 6:30. On the bump today for Buffalo, Shane Bieber and George Springer. He is also again in the lineup at batting second. You can listen to that game on our sister station, the Bet 1520. And then the majors, 3 games this evening. 2 of them will get underway just after 7 o'clock. The Jays host the Rangers, and the Mets have the Mariners in town, while at 8:15, it's the Yankees. They are in St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Welcome back. You want to chat? Give us a call, 803-0550. Bills and Bears. We talked to 2 guests, Sal Capaccio, then Eric Edholm, about today's practices. I feel like that's sufficient. Sean McDermott this morning said he wants the Bills to, quote, get more crusty, end quote, or crustier, depending on how you like it. Mm-hmm. They're not crusty enough, he said, for his taste. Can we help? I think we get called crusty from time to time. I think I can be crusty. I don't think I am crusty, but I can be. I feel like we just talked to Sean on Wednesday. We probably should have. I didn't know he needed this crustiness.
He needed
we could be help.
A crustiness advisor.
Yeah, right. Captain Krusty.
Definitely qualify. I'm
Chief Crusty Officer.
There's no question I can be crusty. The fear is that I'm venturing into just a permanent state of crustiness, which I don't really want to be the case.
No.
But,
I'll know you've crossed over to Krustyville permanently when you start talking politics with me. Then I know. Then I'll know it's permanent. That's when it's indelible and it's not going away. When you start talking about politics,
don't you worry.
I mean, it's never happened once.
If that's all I need to stave off becoming permanently crusty, I'm in the clear. I don't think I got no worries there.
You're not on the verge of talking about politics.
But really stuff. My wife and I had an event. She had a party with coworkers on Tuesday, and she wanted me to go, so I did. And that was a weeknight, and we were out in East Aurora till 10 o'clock. That takes
that's curfew in East Aurora.
That takes a lot for me. I want to get up and play golf. I can't. And last night I had this event with the Borderland Festival, the Battle of the Bands, and so that I'm trying to commit to things before I can say no, because I will always find a reason not to do anything. If my optimal setting is leave here, go home, watch a ball game for a while, have something to eat, and that's it. And I'm very comfortable, too comfortable is what I am doing that. So wifey wants me to go do, yes, fine, no problem. The Borderland Festival, come be a judge for this. Sure, yeah, no problem. My kid wants to take me to Boston to go to, yes, well, let's go. I'm going to do that. I'm just trying to stave off, just staying in my house all the time. There's no way to live.
You've got it. You've got it right. I think you have the right sensibilities here. You're recognizing what could become a problem.
Yep.
And you are doing right to stave it off.
So far, so good.
So far, I feel like you're doing it. Yep. Soon, it'll just be NFL time and what? I don't know, but I'm excited for it.
And then I will really want to just go home and watch a game is what I will want to do.
I'm doing that tonight. My plan is 10 o'clock Chiefs, Seahawks.
Yeah.
If not also the other. I won't be home for the start of Titans, Falcons. That's the part you want to see. if the starters are going to play.
Yep.
I'd like to see Cam Ward, actually, and I haven't yet.
Do we know is our number ones playing? I would assume Ward needs
I don't know.
everything he can get. I'm wondering.
I would think he would because he's a rookie.
And I wonder about Michael Penix Jr. In the same way. Like I'm definitely going to turn that game on when I get home. We'll see how long I stay there. Because tonight
it is Tennessee, Atlanta.
We are flying pretty early tomorrow, so I am not. I don't need to go. I don't need to stave anything off tonight. What I need to do is go home and try to go to bed early so I can get up at 4:30 to get to the airport. What time's the airport open?
Wow.
What time? How soon can I go to the airport? I think 5, right? 5:30.
My wife and son took a 5:05 a.m. flight to Denver this summer. And I don't know when you can get in. I think of Seattle for this because when I went to Alaska 2 years ago, we had a similar flight out of Seattle, like 5 in the morning. Remember, like leaving our hotel at 2:30 in the morning.
That's what we had in Vancouver that same summer. Later that summer, same thing.
I mean,
3:30 in the morning, we're getting in an Uber to go to the airport.
Almost enough to make you not even want to go.
Right.
Almost.
Right.
But yeah, we get to the Seattle airport. I mean, hour and a half, 2 hours you want to do. But we got there and found only people waiting to fly, like no workers.
Yeah, there was you couldn't check in, you couldn't do
until 4.
Any of the benefit of being there 2 hours early was negated by the airport not actually being functional.
Correct. So nobody turns the light on at their counter until 4, and the flight's at 5. And as it happened in Seattle, I don't know if anybody else knows this, view or this situation, but the Nexus line we were in was just feeding into the regular line. So any time advantage we thought we were getting by being in the Nexus, the pre-screen people didn't help. So it got pretty stressful. I mean, everybody was kind of stressed because it's the middle of the night, and time's ticking, and it's just moving very slowly. I'm not answering your question. I think it might be the same. My guess is it's about the same, be the hour.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, it's less than 3 weeks now to Dallas, Philadelphia.
Right.
For real. The starters will play in that one.
That's a real game.
You would think. I don't know about Micah Parsons.
I saw a commercial for that last night. I know that's real. It's happening.
Is Micah Parsons going to be on the field for Dallas that night?
That's a great question.
What are the odds? Probably he will. How do they do it? I mean, they have to come up with a new market-setting contract for him.
Well,
or else what?
He plays
anyway.
What is he on? The 5th-year option? Like he's in the last year. I think he's playing on a 5th-year option. So it's a little like the Cook thing, except he's a bigger star, commanding a much bigger payday, like literal top of the market for that position, which is as big as any contract outside of quarterbacks at this point. That's what you're talking about, $40 to $45 million a year. Right, that's the going rate. Didn't Myles Garrett got 40, T.J. Watt got 41, or what? So, I don't know what's going to happen there. Like, does he just fold and come in and start practicing, or do they pay him, 1.5 times what they could have paid him at this time last year if they had any foresight?
Well, did you hear Jerry Jones the other day talking about some of to boil it down, the controversy Dallas seems to regularly cause is on purpose?
It's good for business, basically, right? Is we're in the news.
Yeah.
I wonder how the players feel about that.
I saw that. I meant to mention this yesterday. I loved it. I caught that on Sam Monson's podcast with Steve Palazzolo, 3013. Check the Mic is the name of their show. And I just watched it live. I guess it would have been yesterday morning. And they talk about the shouty shows, as Sam calls them, which is, ESPN and Fox, basically, and how ridiculous they can be. Really smart stuff. I mean, Sam, of course, he's been on with us so many times. Just, a super smart guy. They both are. And they play a clip. If this is a regular bit, I'll watch it every week. They play a clip and then talk about the merits of the
argument.
Shout, like the Stephen A. Smith argument.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I'm here for that.
It was something Stephen A. Smith had on Prescott that was just so ridiculous that Sam found the words, but just oh my God.
Right.
This is the guy that really should make all the money. So that's where they played the Jerry Jones clip. And, basically they're like, at least he admits it, but it's not good for his team. Like, to wait,
right.
Everybody says it already, to wait like Dallas does too long to get these deals signed ends up costing them a lot of money. But I don't know. I guess maybe there's some strategy to it. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. We'll be right back. This is WGR. Happy Friday. Welcome back. Enough time here to pick these games? Just, to get the reps in?
What games?
Tonight.
Oh, the 2 games tonight? Yeah. Okay, sure.
Although I don't know who's playing. I know the teams.
Right. I don't know.
Mahomes plays in the preseason. He played last week.
Yeah. Yeah. The Chiefs are like that.
Friendly advice that you obviously would already know. If you're actually going to bet these games, you do want to know who's going to play in them.
I think that's helpful.
Tennessee is favored by 3. Seattle is favored by 4.5. So is that just telling you right now the Titans and the Seahawks are expected to take these games more seriously than their opponents?
I think that's probably what it's telling us. I'm going to take the points in both cases.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Just bam.
That's it.
The Bears are favored Sunday.
Sure.
They're playing their guys.
Right.
The Bills may not. Should they?
No.
No, right?
Well, I think they should play the other guys. Just Allen is the big thing there, and I don't expect him to play, and I hope he doesn't. I literally get through like a day like today with the joint practice, and the later it gets, and I know around when it started, right? I'm like, this has been like an hour and a half already. I'm just like wanting to get through the scrolling without there being somebody is being attended to, somebody, blah, blah, blah. Blow the horn already. When is the horn going to blow? When is this over? And we came out unscathed. It seemed mostly there was a depth DB that got hurt. Corey Couch, I think, maybe got injured, but and I don't know how severe that was, but nothing else. So I don't need Josh Allen on the field ever in these preseason games, and I don't think he will play. That's my guess right now.
Works for me. Yeah, there have been – the Bills have had a list of injuries, but nobody that I know of, like, too
right.
bad.
Hairston and
one.
Shakir are the two most serious injuries, and Hairston may not be back in time to start the season. It sounds like the expectation is Shakir will be. So
it does sound like the way Sal's been talking and maybe others that people might be expecting Hairston to start on IR. Doesn't it? Does it sound that way to you?
Yeah.
Which would be, what is that, 3 weeks now?
Not sure
3 or 4?
how that shakes out.
We don't know if that's going to happen, but it has sounded a little bit like that to me. The Falcons. Are the Falcons in your 8-team division winner parlay? They might be.
Yeah.
You might like Atlanta.
I think I have them. I did 2 of these, one with you and then one with Sam Monson, and I think I have Atlanta in both of them.
They have 2 top 1.5 round fantasy picks. Bijan Robinson is a top 5 pick easily, and Drake London is top half of the second round. We don't know about Darnell Mooney being hurt, how long that's going to be. The coach said something about like having him back. He'll be healthy at some point this season. That didn't sound great. Baker Mayfield is not going to play for Tampa in their game this weekend. Maybe he will play against the Bills next weekend. That's the final Bills preseason game. Who will not play against the Bills for sure is Chris Godwin. Thinking about the NFC South and receivers there. The latest speculation on Godwin is the PUP list to start the year. Mm-hmm. So he's not been ready for camp. He's still not. And it might be that he misses the start of the season, which makes their first-round pick, Emeka Egbuka, a much more interesting and viable fantasy pick. Why did you do that? You have Evans and Godwin. Well, Godwin's hurt and Evans is old. So maybe it's more wide open for Egbuka than we thought. And Jalen McMillan wasn't bad as a rookie either last year. Sal was on the field for Bills Bears today. His takeaways next here on WGR.